It's that time of year. It's January. It's the beginning of the year. So we got news of the first developer direct coming of 2025. Comes at the end of the month. So in about 10 days, actually in exactly 10 days, January 23rd at 10 a.m. Pacific time, we've got a developer direct. Now this is causing some speculation and some rumors that we're going to go over today. You can see here on the image, we've got Doom that's clearly going to be shown off and shared here. We've got South of Midnight that's going to be shown off here. We've got Expedition 33 that's shown off here in the images. But then we've got a question mark. And Xbox actually says it's a brand new game. So we're going to go over this announcement. We're going to go over what some of the speculation is. What could this game be? In the past, this game was like Hi-Fi Rush. That was a shadow drop, honestly. There are rumors that there are some shadow drops outside of this reveal here. So in addition to this reveal, there are rumors by the one and only Nate the Hate that there's going to be a shadow drop. Not on Game Pass necessarily, but a shadow drop. We're going to go over all that today. Before we do, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 Gamer. We drop videos like this all the time. We also have a podcast, X1 Daily, Apple Podcast, Spotify. If you prefer consuming us that way, make sure even if you don't prefer, go give us a subscription. Go give us a 5-star rating over there. It very much helps us out. Also, we do have a Discord server. If you guys would like to jump in, we've got a great bunch of people over there already. Come jump in, come hang out. If you love games, if you love Xbox, if you love just debating and discussing things, this is the server for you. A link is in the description below. Okay, let's jump into this. So, again, there are a lot of rumors, and people are freaking out. Some people are freaking out. I actually responded to a tweet by my good man, the one and only Plume Gaming, who also seems to just be like exasperated with the drama. If you guys aren't on Twitter, which I don't know, I think Twitter is a fantastic place. It's really interesting. I think the most interesting debates are happening there, the most interesting discussions. However, there's also so much drama over there. And if you're not in a mental state to handle it, definitely stay far, far away. But if you are and you want a good time and you want to see people freaking out for nothing, then head over there because there's a lot. It's January. It's tradition that so-called, I use the term so-called, quote, Xbox influencers, unquote, freak out over there over every little detail from Xbox. I dropped some tweets this weekend attempting to mock them because I think they deserve to be mocked. That we'll go over here. But first, let's go over the Developer Direct news. Developer Direct returns. This is from Xbox Wire. This is straight from the horse's mouth. News.xbox.com. Developer Direct returns on January 23rd, a celebration of what's coming for Xbox players. It's time to get a look at what's next. Developer Direct is back on Thursday, January 23rd at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's 6 p.m. UK and 1 p.m. Eastern, in case you guys were wondering. Fans will get an inside look at a selection of highly anticipated games coming to the Xbox Series X, S, PC, and Game Pass players this year. Interesting that PC is always included there now. So we are essentially, Xbox is considering its platform a multi-platform ecosystem. And I think that, I'm saying that, I'm pointing this out because of some of the outrage that's out there. It's like, why are you guys surprised? This is the strategy for Xbox. They continually act like every new rumor is this huge surprise and they can't believe it's happening. Guys, the writing is on the wall here. Xbox is an ecosystem. Xbox wants to be everywhere. That's not a surprise. So anyways, we'll get into that in a little bit. Presented by the game creators themselves. So we're going to go, it seems like we're going to travel directly. In fact, they say we're going to travel and hear from the creators, the developers on each of these games. Developer Direct offers, that's why it's called Developer Direct. We're going direct to the developers. I just put 2 and 2 together. I didn't realize that. It's like one of those things when you hear lyrics for the first time, like you've heard a song for forever, and then you hear the lyrics for the first time, and you're like, oh, that's what that means. And then it like shocks you. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're saying that. But you've been singing it for years. That's what I've been doing with Developer Direct. It's going directly to the developers. Makes sense. Offers an in-depth look at upcoming titles, how they're being created, and who's creating them. We'll visit Compulsion Games in Montreal, Canada to learn more about South of Midnight. Head to Montpellier, France. Montpellier! To see Sandfall Interactive for a look at Claire Obscure Expedition 33, which, by the way, out of the games that they're showing off here, minus the big question mark, because I don't know what that is, Expedition 33 is the most interesting to me. I'm most excited for Doom: The Dark Ages because I'm a huge fan of Doom since they've rebooted the series, and the fact that we're going back to medieval times using with shotguns and stuff and a shield for Doom guy is super cool, and I can't wait for that game. But as far as interesting that I want to hear more about, it's definitely Expedition 33. It looks so fascinating. The premise looks so cool. So we're going to go take a look at Expedition 33, and then we're going to stop by the legendary id Studios in Richardson, Texas, to check in on Doom: The Dark Ages and visit a surprise, and visit a surprise location to see another studio's brand new game. And this is where the speculation comes in. What is this brand new game? I have seen some people say that it could be Forza 6. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be Forza 6. I've seen people say that it could be Everwild. Maybe it's Everwild. And the other one that's making the rounds here is it could be the it's the Oblivion remake. Now that one would be super cool. Out of those three, I think Forza Horizon 6 is what we're on. We're not seeing until past summer. Oblivion remake would be amazing, especially if it's a surprise drop as well. Remember, this slot has been a surprise drop in the past. We had Hi-Fi Rush, that surprise drop, that shadow dropped here. And if you did that with Oblivion, I would lose it. I think that would be... I just think it's worth it. And a lot of people criticize gaming in 2024, modern day gaming, that all we're getting is remakes. But if you think about it, remakes are kind of needed. I don't have a problem with remakes at all. For instance, you cannot go back and play Oblivion and expect someone who's never jumped into Oblivion but has jumped into Skyrim, and maybe they've jumped into Elder Scrolls Online. But let's pretend that just Skyrim. You can't expect them to go back and be like, oh, I see why this game was amazing and why it no, because it's not anymore. The controls are outdated. The mechanics are outdated. The graphics are outdated. It doesn't slap, as the kids say, in the same way that it slapped when it first dropped. And so doing a full remake makes sense, especially if you're getting ready to announce Elder Scrolls 6 and you're going to start showing that off and you want to bring people back into the fold. You want to introduce people to the Elder Scrolls series. Having a remake makes complete sense. There's actually some rumors that we're going to go over here in a minute about other remakes that are coming that I think also makes sense. The other one let's just talk about it now. The other one that's coming, or that is rumored to be coming, is Gears. Gears 1 in Unreal Engine 5, completely redone. I think it's Gears 1, 2, and 3 that's going to be packaged together. At least that's the rumor from Nate the Hate. He was on a podcast with Randall Thor in which they discussed this, and he's saying that he's heard that is coming. Now, if that's the case, once again, there's this criticism out there that remakes... oh, we don't need them. They're too many. All we're getting is remakes all the time. I don't agree with that. Sometimes that may be the case. But I think in the case where you're trying to reintroduce people to your series, it's very hard for a modern day gamer or a gamer that has been exposed to Gears 5, let's say, to go back and play Gears 1. Now, it does hold up pretty decently, and they do have an Ultimate Edition there. That's not bad, but it's definitely not Gears 5, for instance. And if we're getting ready to release Gears 6, then I think it's just a great way, completely revamped from the ground up. It's a great game. It will remain a great game. In fact, it will be an even better game if you bring it using modern tools, modern mechanics, modern physics. That game is out of this world. Why not do something like that to gear up, and get ready for Gear 6? I think it's smart. I think it's genius. I'll give you a prime example. I think the Master Chief Collection is a fantastic offering. You have every single Halo in one package. The problem with the Master Chief Collection is it's not updated from the ground up. And so I have friends who have never experienced Halo, have played Halo, the latest Halo Infinite, and very much enjoyed it. But they don't get the hype around Halo because they never experienced those first ones. If you were to redo those in a new engine from the ground up, redoing the physics, redoing everything, you could introduce that to a whole new audience and really, show off what makes this so special. Now, part of what makes those games special is in their time, they were revolutionary. In their time, they were the first time we've ever seen this. They're no longer the first time we've ever seen this. So redoing it is not going to have the exact same effect, but at least people can play it who have never experienced it before and not be let down and not get it. A lot of what we very much enjoy about these legacy series are how groundbreaking and revolutionary they were at the time. So a lot of that is nostalgia. that, to be perfectly honest, for someone just jumping into the series in 2025, we're in 2025. I said 2024 earlier. Can you believe we're in 2025 already? Whew. But for someone that's just jumping into these series in 2025, I don't blame them for not getting it. It makes sense. It does not have the same meaning to them. It doesn't have that nostalgia. A lot of what we're feeling is that nostalgia. So this is the developer direct. It'll be interesting. I would love to know what you guys think that we're getting. What would you like to see? Personally, if it's an Oblivion remake, I think that would be huge. I would love to see that as this question mark game. It doesn't even need to be a shadow drop for me. I just to know that it's coming to get us ready. Let me put it this way. If that's coming, if we get that unveiled, we're seeing Elder Scrolls. I mean, for sure we're seeing Elder Scrolls 6 this year, not drop, but some in-depth news about it, some in-depth show off about it, probably at the showcase in June, the Xbox showcase in June. But if this drops, it would be in preparation for that, in my mind. Let's head over to some rumors because, again, like I said, it is freak out mode over on the interwebs, over on Twitter. Rumor, leaker names 2 more Xbox games possibly going multi-platform in 2025. PS5 and Switch 2 both mentioned. Now, there are a lot of rumors here. There are some rumors here that aren't discussed in this article because this article is focusing on the Xbox side. But one of the rumors that we should talk about first that Nate, again, this is Nate the Hate that dropped these rumors. Reputable, so I'm told. Leaker, I think we've discussed him on this show before. Let's see if he's correct here. This will be very interesting. One of the rumors for this developer direct is that Final Fantasy 16, he says, he's heard that Final Fantasy 16 is shadow dropping during this developer direct, that we're going to talk about it. Now, that's not the question mark game. He goes out of his way to say that. That's huge. Having Final Fantasy 16 on Xbox, not on Game Pass. It'd be cool if it was on Game Pass. He did not say that it would be on Game Pass. Personally, it would be cool if it's on Game Pass. If not, I'm still buying it on Xbox. Everybody tells me that game is fantastic. I have seen cutscenes that people are showing off to me. Just the emotes. It was one of the Game of the Year nominees last year. Well deserves to be up there from what I'm told. So Final Fantasy 16. The other one that is a big rumor is the Final Fantasy remake finally making its way to Xbox. He says in June, which may be at the developer direct there, but that could also be something that is discussed here on the developer direct, which would make this already, just those 2 announcements alone, a absolute huge and monstrous developer direct. The other thing that he talked about is the Gears remake with Unreal Engine 5. Again, I think this is 1 through 3 being discussed, perhaps in the developer direct. I don't know if that's necessarily what we'll see. But again, I think that's big. I think that's needed. I have zero problem with games being completely remade in the way that the Final Fantasy VII has been done, where it's a completely new game. I mean, it's the same story, the same characters, but with brand new updated graphics, with brand new updated mechanics, and it's a masterpiece. Gears, the original Gears was a masterpiece. Why not update it with Unreal Engine 5, for instance, and retain that masterpiece status there? But let's go over this rumor because this is the reason people are freaking out, and then we'll go to some of my tweets. Rumor, this is PureXbox.com. Leaker names 2 more Xbox games possibly going multi-platform, in 2025. These rumors, there's an update. These rumors have continued over the weekend. It's not just these 2. Original story. We've heard plenty about Xbox multi-platform plans in recent weeks, and as we head into 2025, prominent leaker Nate the Hate has name-dropped a few more titles that Xbox is possibly planning to move over this year. According to the leaker, Halo the Master Chief Collection and Microsoft Flight Simulator could be the next two Xbox titles to go multi-platform. Nate says that he's heard this information and that both titles could come to PS5 and Nintendo Switch 2, the latter of which still hasn't been announced. Here's what he said, quote, "Games that I've heard will be released multi-platform in 2025 beyond. The obvious include Flight Simulator will come to PlayStation 5 and Switch 2, and Halo, the Master Chief Collection, will be coming to PS5 and Switch 2 as well." Now, some people have said, can these games even come to Switch 2? Well, we don't know what the Switch 2 is. There's lots of leaks out there. We don't know what it is for sure. But Flight Simulator in particular, if you have an internet connection, I believe you can play that game anywhere. That game is being ran off of an internet connection, both for the good and the bad. Fantastic game. Very niche. I think it's smart for them to bring a Flight Simulator over. Initially, I was against them bringing any Halo over, but it being Master Chief Collection, Again, just like we talked about previous, you want to introduce people to your IP. You want to introduce people to the goodness that is your IP. Why not use a Master Chief Collection? And then whatever your latest Halo is exclusive on Game Pass. It makes sense. If you don't think that it makes sense, you've not been paying attention to Xbox's strategy. That makes logical sense for me. Phil Spencer says nothing is off limits here. There are no red lines. I don't understand why everyone's freaking out. People are saying, well, this is it. Xbox is going third party. Xbox is still making hardware. Like, they've said that this next Xbox is going to be the biggest generational leap. They're not going third party. They're selling Game Pass and Game Pass subscribers. Anybody saying anything otherwise is honestly being disingenuous. Now, you cannot like this direction and you can think that, well, this is the wrong move. It's kind of removing what makes Xbox special, but I don't think that it is. Once again, it's introducing more fans to more IPs so that when the latest ones drop exclusively on Game Pass, you pull them over as subscribers. And that's what's going to happen long-term with, for instance, Call of Duty. It's what's going to happen long-term with, for instance, games like Indiana Jones, with Elder Scrolls, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to pull people over to your Game Pass subscription because they've been introduced to your series. They want to buy it. It's a must-buy, et cetera, et cetera. It's worth noting, this is PureXbox.com, that these name drops were part of a broader predictions video for what could happen with Xbox in 2025 and are by no means confirmed at this stage. Recently, we've heard rumors about other multi-platform Xbox games that still haven't cropped up on other systems, including Forza Horizon 5, so it's probably worth taking this information with a hefty grain of salt for now. Agreed. That does not stop people from just freaking out. People who honestly shouldn't either. I think you've got your standalones who are independent thinkers and aren't freaking out at this, and then you've got the freaker outers, we'll call them, the FOs, freaker outers, who are so annoying and just freak out at every little bit of news. And they're honestly doing it for clicks at this point. And then you've got the in-betweens. And these are disingenuous journalists that should know better, that do know better, in fact, and I'm not going to name who they are. You can go figure it out for yourself. But they end their write-ups on this news with stuff like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, bro, you've been reporting on this strategy all along. What do you mean it doesn't make sense? So they talk out of both sides of their mouth, and it's pretty annoying, if I'm being perfectly honest. Here's one of my tweets. This is to Plume Gaming. Plume Gaming. Go follow them. He's on YouTube. Fantastic guy. We very much agree, I think. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think we very much agree on all the outrage here. He's been on the show before. We've discussed it in great length. Here's what he says. We live in an Xbox simulation. This was on Saturday. Was it Saturday? 13th, 12th? Yep. This was on Saturday. We live in an Xbox simulation, same time, same place as last year. LMAO. And I replied, January, the annual Xbox influencer freakout month. Time to overreact to every rumor, pretend the strategy isn't painfully obvious, and set the tone for another year of unnecessary drama. Tradition is tradition, after all. And I think the part that annoys me is this part. Pretending that the strategy isn't painfully obvious. We know the strategy. We see the strategy. If you're surprised, you've just not been paying attention, or you're disingenuous, to say the least. So I'm not freaking out about any of this. I think it makes logical sense. Again, remember, these are just rumors. These are not for sure. We'll address it as we hear more news, but let's pretend that this is true, that Halo Master Chief Collection is going to PS5. That makes sense to me. If timed exclusives worked for PlayStation in selling their console, why would timed exclusives not work for Xbox trying to get Game Pass subscribers? In fact, I think it works better under a Game Pass model. That would be my argument. I challenge you, for those of you that are against this, answer that question. Let me know in the comments below. See if you could convince me. I don't think you will, because the world is changing. A lot of people don't like change. This is just the reality. The console space is changing. We're gonna get an Xbox console, so we're not multi-platform. So don't even throw that at me. But we're also gonna get a handheld. Again, something that hasn't even been on our radar when you look at the last two generations, that now is. So it's going to be interesting to see where we go. Again, let me know about any of this, what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget that like button, subscribe to this channel. Come join us on Discord, whether you're listening to us on podcasts, whether you are watching this on YouTube. There is a link in the description below. Come join us. Let's discuss. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.